Imagine living forever, with no wrinkles, no gray hair, just an eternal existence. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, hold on to your sandals, because we're diving into the Bible to meet three extraordinary men who miraculously gave death the surprise of a lifetime and went on to live forever. As we begin, let us meet Enoch, Elijah, and Melchisedek, the true biblical immortals. These men didn't just sip from the fountain of youth, they cannonballed into it. But how did they do it? And what are the mysteries behind it all? The Bible doesn't talk about any of the patriarchs lightheartedly. For instance, it presents Enoch as a man who took a stroll with God. Enoch was like the ultimate best friend of the Almighty. The only other patriarch ever to come this close to God was Abraham. But in Enoch's case, he was so intimate that one day he vanished. No death certificate, no tombstone, just a divine abduction. The Bible also presents Elijah, the faithful prophet who rode on a flaming chariot. Little wonder why he is often referred to as the fiery prophet. Elijah was the prophet with a flair for the dramatic. He called down fire from heaven, taunted idol worshippers, and rode a chariot of flames. But when it was time to punch out, he didn't fade away like an ordinary mortal. No, a whirlwind swooped in, scooped him up, and left his clock behind. Following them is Melchisedek, the mysterious priest without recorded birth, relatives, or burial ground. He suddenly appears in Genesis, blesses Abraham, and then, in an invisible whirlwind, he's gone. He has no backstory, family tree, predecessor, or successor. He points to the Son of God, and it is said of his priesthood that it is forever. Either way, Melchizedek's existence has us all scratching our heads, wondering about the mysterious things that lie beyond our understanding. Enoch, Elijah, Melchizedek. Who really were these men, and what makes them so special? Were they God's secret agents? Did they have a cheat code for immortality? We're not sure, but their stories keep us guessing. To get to the root of their immortality, let's start with the very first one. Enoch, the man who walked with God. In the depths of biblical chronicles, Enoch stands out not for the length of his story, but for the mystery surrounding his departure from this world. His character, life, and legacy prompt us to contemplate the profound relationship between humanity and the divine. Enoch's lineage points us to the early days of humanity. He comes from the line of Seth, Adam and Eve's third son. Enoch was the seventh of Adam, marking him as a significant figure due to the biblical importance to the number 7. His life, as briefly mentioned in Genesis 5, is shrouded in brevity but rich in intrigue. The pivotal moment in Enoch's life is captured in a single enigmatic verse, Genesis chapter 5, verse 24. It reads, "Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more because God took him away." These words paint a picture of a man so in tune with the Creator that his earthly journey concluded not with death, but with a divine transition to another existence. The significance of Enoch's life stretches beyond the book of Genesis. He is a figure of fascination even in Judeo-Christian eschatology. And for context, eschatology is the part of theology concerned with the final events in history. Though not a part of the canonical Bible, the mysterious book of Enoch expands on his story, portraying him as a man who received heavenly visions and prophecies. While not universally accepted, these texts offer a glimpse into the enduring impact of Enoch's walk with God. This walk challenges us to consider the depths of faith and the possibilities of a life beyond the physical realm. The Book of Enoch is an ancient treasure chest of stories that didn't make it into the mainstream Bible. It is full of wild tales of angels, giants, and the reasons behind the enormous flood in the days of Noah. Now, Enoch himself is a central character in this book, because it is believed that Enoch was given special knowledge and visions from above. According to the Book of Enoch, Enoch doesn't just walk the earth. He also gets to see the heavens. The book talks about him being taken by angels and shown the secrets of the stars in the future. Imagine taking an interplanetary stroll with the angels, walking the whole length of the universe, from heaven down to the depths of hell and beyond. This is what Enoch exemplifies. Now let's dwell on how Enoch left the scene, because that's where things get really interesting. The Bible says God took him, which is very mysterious, but it only leaves us pondering what that means for a long time. Because of this, scholars have come up with several theories pertaining to the meaning of God took him. Some say Enoch was taken to a special place at the edge of the world, while others believe he went straight up to heaven to be closer to the throne of God. Yet some wild theories even suggest Enoch got a promotion and became an angelic being, taking on the name Metatron. In this role, Enoch becomes a celestial scribe or secretary, keeping a record of all the mysteries happening beyond our realm. But that is not all, dear friends, because several beliefs have also sprung up suggesting that Enoch, along with another immortal patriarch, Elijah, might come back to earth when the world is wrapping up. While we continue to be amused by these theories, let's quickly move to the next man who never tasted death. Elijah, the prophet ascended to heaven. This man of fierce faith and fiery passion stands in the heart of Israel's history. Prophet Elijah. Elijah was not just any prophet. He was the one who dared to challenge kings and call down fire from the sky. Elijah's mission was nothing short of monumental. He emerged during a time when Israel was teetering on the edge of spiritual collapse, with idol worship rampant under King Ahab's rule. Elijah's assignment was not just difficult, but seemed suicidal, to turn the nation's heart back to the one true God. He was a man of the wilderness, a voice crying out against the corruption of King Ahab and his wife Jezebel, and urging a return to righteousness. No wonder the climax of Elijah's story becomes as astonishing as his life. The Bible tells us in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11, that as Elijah and his successor Elisha were walking and talking, a chariot of fire pulled by horses of fire appeared out of nowhere. And just like that, a whirlwind took Elijah up into heaven. Alas, this was a departure befitting a prophet who lived with such intensity and left an indelible mark for generations of prophets to come. But Elijah's story doesn't end there. The prophet Malachi speaks of Elijah's return before the great and dreadful day of the Lord to restore harmony between the generations. Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. This promise symbolizes Elijah as a reincarnation in Jewish tradition, especially during Passover. On this night, a cup of wine is poured for him, and doors are opened in hopeful expectation of his arrival. Elijah's role during the Passover Seder speaks of the hope for redemption and the coming of a time when peace will reign. Now, there are several theories also on Elijah's possible reincarnation, and this is where things get really thought-provoking. As mentioned earlier, the prophet Malachi spoke of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, when Elijah will return and help set things right. This makes it possible that Elijah still has one last mission to bring peace to the earth before the grand finale of all things. However, it is also possible that Malachi was speaking of John the Baptist as embodying the spirit of the power of Elijah. This is seen in the way John had the same wild, desert-driven characteristics and devoted all his days to calling on people to change their ways. Yet many still reckon that Elijah will indeed show up once again in the future as a sign that all life is about to come to an end. This leads us to our final patriarch, renowned for his undying legacy, Melchisedek, the eternal priest. In the pages of biblical history, very few figures are as shrouded in mystery as Melchisedek, the king of Salem and priest of God Most High. Melchizedek's sudden appearance in Genesis 14 and the profound silence regarding his origins have intrigued scholars and believers alike for centuries. Melchizedek emerges as a royal figure reigning over Salem, which is believed to be the ancient name for Jerusalem. He is introduced as a priest of God Most High, a title that denotes a position of significant spiritual authority. Unlike other biblical characters, Melchizedek's story begins and ends with a few verses, leaving a trail of questions about his identity and role. The Bible describes a pivotal encounter between Melchizedek and Abraham as a moment of figurative drama and deep symbolism. After Abraham's victory over the kings, Melchizedek meets him with the bread and wine and blesses him in the name of God Most High. The act of blessing by Melchizedek is significant, as it recognizes Abraham's relationship with God and prefigures the sacramental elements that hold deep meaning in Christian theology. The New Testament, in Hebrews chapter 7, casts Melchizedek in an eternal light, describing him as a priest forever, without father, mother, or genealogy, having neither the beginning of days nor the end of life. This description elevates Melchizedek to a status that transcends human limitations, aligning him with the Son of God, a figure of perpetual priesthood. The theological implications of Melchizedek's priesthood are vast. For one, it stands as a type of Christ, a precursor to the eternal priesthood of Jesus. For another, Melchizedek's absence of recorded birth or death symbolizes an eternal nature akin to that of Christ, whose priesthood is unending. His comparison to Jesus in the New Testament is reminiscent of a type of priesthood based on spiritual authority rather than lineage or law. Melchizedek's mysterious absence of genealogy and death further accentuates the idea of an eternal divine order. His priesthood predates the Levitical priesthood and points to a higher, everlasting covenant. This lack of genealogical record invites us to marvel at the nature of spiritual authority and the qualities constituting a true mediator between God and humanity. So far, we've journeyed through the life and times of three extraordinary men, whose stories defy the finality of death: Enoch, who walked with God and was taken away; Elijah, who ascended to heaven in a whirlwind; and Melchizedek, the eternal priest without beginning or end. Enoch's life reminds us of the intimacy one can have with the divine. Elijah's fiery ascent inspires us to believe in the spectacular. Melchizedek's timeless priesthood points to an order beyond our understanding. These figures stand as monuments to the possibility of divine favor and eternal life. They challenge us to ponder our own place in the cosmos and the nature of our relationship with the unseen. They represent the idea that there's more to existence than what meets the eye, that perhaps in some way we too are part of a story that truly never ends. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Which of these immortal legends captivates your imagination the most? Is it Enoch's quiet departure, Elijah's fiery chariot, or Melchizedek's eternal priesthood? Kindly drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this journey as fascinating as we did, don't forget to share this video with your friends and start a conversation that could be, just like our subjects today, everlasting. Thanks for joining us on True Bible Legends. Continue the journey with us as we uncover more hidden treasures of the Bible. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos.